Hello and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel, and this is Sunaina. And here I am doing a divine masculine reading with regards to their energies um, for the month or for the period of July 15th to July 30th, 2019. Now, I always break down the energies with regards to their signs. So I take the earth energy and I take the air, earth, water, and fire. So this time, let's do a reading together for the divine masculines who are connected with their earth signs, guys. Now, earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Now, take this as the energies are showing up on my table with regards to this reading in the way it resonates with you. If it doesn't, please don't force yourself into the reading, and you may watch the other signs to see if that resonates, because sometimes a sun sign resonates better than the moon sign, and so on and so forth. But check every sign to see whatever resonates better with your understanding with regards to this divine masculine's energy. But this is specifically for Sun, Moon, Rising, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn with regards to the divine masculine's energy. Now, in here, the love angel has given me two cards in here for this reading during this period. One is the soulmate, one is the next card, which says love yourself first. So, with regards to the soulmate, guys, please understand that this particular group of divine masculines who are connected to this twin flame connection in this portion of the time with regards to their sign, it's not that they did not know about this connection or they had no inclination of the person they love or the person who is with them. They knew about it. But this time of the year, what is happening is that this entire feeling of being the soulmate connection is coming to the surface for him. So he is acknowledging now it is time that so long he might have not acknowledged the fact, even though he knew about it, even though he had every inclination about this connection, about the spiritual part of this journey, but in this time frame, from the 15th to the 30th of July, he is actually acknowledging the fact that you people, the divine feminine, whosoever is connected with this man in here, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, he knows that you are his soulmate and that he cannot do without you. But at the same time, he knows that for this connection to go forward, he will have to do things for himself, which is taking care of himself, loving himself, respecting himself. Because the more he does that, the more he shows you guys that he is taking care of himself. He knows who he is. He's getting into the power of recognizing the person he wants to be now from henceforth onwards. The more attractive an attraction will develop for you towards him in this connection, guys, because you definitely want this person, this divine masculine, to be the right person for you, because the way you look at him is not just as a soulmate, guys, but you also look at him as a person you love, you respect, you want him, you're attracted to him, you want everything that is good between the two of you. But at the same time, you also want him to go to the point of knowing that it is time for him to love and respect himself as well. Because when he develops that kind of a feeling towards his own spiritual understanding, that is where the soulmate connection is only going to get deeper and nothing less. So over here, there are two stories to this card in here, guys. Okay, so the first is, of course, that he is acknowledging the entire fact of this journey. He's getting the understanding, he's getting a hold of this connection better, even better, even better. It's like he's blossoming with this connection every day. He's getting into the connection, he's recognizing where this connection has started, why it has started, how it has started, and where it continued, and so on and so forth. So now he's getting the fact that this person, the divine feminine, is not just a friend, is not just a person I know or love, but this person is connected to my past life, is somebody who I know and acknowledge as my soulmate today. This is one. And second, like I said, the deeper the connection gets, the deeper the understanding about this love happens within him, where he knows that it is time for him to respect himself, which will absolutely bond this attraction and this connection in a more romantic manner, because that is what he understands today. That is what the divine feminine actually wants from him, more so, because she is looking for a person who is a complete, wholesome individual by himself, who knows how to take care of himself, who knows how to run his business, who knows how to do things, who can do the weightlifting by himself, taking care of his own self-respect, which in turn is going to bond this connection even more closer, because that is what you want for him. And now he's slowly getting into that energy of knowing that is what I need to do for myself in order to join and rejoin this connection in a much more better way, guys. Okay, so that is where he is standing. And the major arcana for him is the Wheel of Fortune, guys. I don't think I have to explain much about this Wheel of Fortune. So things are turning, things are changing, life is changing for him. Situations are changing for him. His own understanding is changing because he has realized this connection is a spiritual connection which is made and which has been brought down from the 5D into the 3D, guys. Okay, so this is where he knows that the more he respects this connection, the more he understands you better, divine feminine, the more he looks after this connection, the more he nurtures this connection, the better he will be in his life in the coming days, in the coming years, in the coming months. So this is where his Wheel of Fortune is making him go through this entire motion of acknowledgement, of acknowledging, of understanding, of connecting with his spiritual self by himself, which in turn is connecting and bonding this relationship together. His goddess guidance is the High Priestess, guys, which is telling me that you have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. So now it is the time for him, because he has learned about this connection in a much better way, because he's getting hold of this entire story in a much better way. He is at that point in his life, or he's reaching that point in his life where through his own spiritual wisdom, he will be able to tell people his own story, his own understanding, his own wisdom, and believe in the fact that such things in life is in actual existence, and it is not just a story that people cook and make up in life. So this is where the High Priestess is coming in for him, guys, where the High Priestess has shown him how things work in reality, not what we see, not what we think, not what we understand, but something where there is a deeper meaning to the realities of life, a deeper meaning to this connection in life, a deeper meaning to the spiritual wisdom in life, a deeper meaning to understanding the mission of this twin flame connection in life. So everything that he has picked up, all the intuitions that he has recognized, all the stories that has gone up and down, the smiles, the tears, the grief, the sorrow, the happiness, everything that he has picked up, the hellos and the goodbyes, everything that he has picked up has today made him realize that this connection is something that I can actually talk with people, tell them, make them know what in life what really matters is your understanding of your own spiritual wisdom, guys, of your own spirituality. And that is where the earth signs divine masculines are coming into the month of July towards the end of it, guys. Okay. Now, having said this, his overall self energy for this month from 15th to the 30th is the King of Cups. I really did not expect to see this, guys. And when this card came out, I was in utter shock because the King of Cups is something that he has never, not, he never had this for a very long time, guys. The Divine Masculine. He really did not know about his emotions, his compassion, his control, his balance in life with regards to his emotional intelligence, because this king can manifest both emotional intelligence as well as he can manifest material wealth as well. He is a very significant king in the deck, guys, and I love this king because of the way he is very calm, very composed, very, very stable, very well connected and grounded with his own emotional intelligence, with the stuff that he needs in life, his financial security, because he is a person who believes that everything has its place. As you have your emotional intelligence, you definitely have a need for your material wealth too. So, this king is a person, guys, who is capable of putting these two things in place at the same point in time, because this king represents creativity, represents emotion, and represents emotion from his unconscious self as well, guys. Okay, so therefore this card appearing shows that this divine masculine at this point has the ability to restrain one's emotions, to be in fully charge of his own feelings and impulses with regards to who he is, what he is thinking, what he is doing, what he is manifesting, where he is going forward with this connection. He is taking control over that balance of his life, the balance between intellect and emotions. And therefore, with relationship too, he indicates that there is a strong relationship between his understanding of this connection and his feelings. He's getting all he's getting all the things in place with this overall self energy of the King of Cups, guys. It's a beautiful energy that I haven't seen for a very long time with the Divine Masculine. And when this card jumped out, I was absolutely elated, because this is something that this man had been missing from his own self for a very, very long time. And that is where he's coming back to life. That is where he's getting into his emotions, into his intellect, into his feelings, into his understanding of this twin flame connection, of the divine feminine, who you are, what you have done for him, what changes he has gone through because of you, what he has learned because of you, what are the lessons he has picked up from you, what are the good things and the bad things that has happened to him because of this connection that earlier on had not really been absorbed in him. So now he's coming to the point. Let's take a clarifier for the King of Cups in here. It's a beautiful energy, guys, and I'm very happy to see this man coming back to life. Please give me a clarifier for the King of Cups. Yes, and there is no indecision on his understanding and feelings now towards this connection, guys. He has no indecision regarding who you are, his soulmate, what he needs to do, how his wheel of fortune is taking a turn, and what his intuition is guiding him towards his own self-development, towards his own self-fulfillment in this part of this journey that he now has to bring forward with regards to this entire bonding and connection that is proceeding at a much faster rate now than what it was before. So now there is no time, there is no indecision that he has to work towards himself to become the person he is, the divine masculine that he is, to grow and bring back whatever he had not been able to do before, to understand that life has taught him a hard lesson before, and now is the time for him to take that lesson to move towards the right direction, to go through that information and technology transformation. The technology part is because he is technically also evolving. Everything is very mechanical as well. So, mechanically, technically, emotionally, psychologically, he's getting all the facts right from the universe. That he now needs to completely overhaul and clean his own self in order to become the person he has to become, guys. Okay? Now, over here, what he's leaving behind is the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So, what he's leaving behind is where he was stuck in between his cold heartedness, where he was very cold hearted, he was very cruel and very bitter with regards to this connection, because he was feeling that this connection had brought him a lot of pain. Because he was not being able to balance this connection in a very nice way. And because of this, he was very disturbed mentally so. He was very disturbed because he was not able to understand how he can deal with this connection in the rightful way. And that is the reason he was very cold hearted, very bitter, very angry, very disappointed with himself, guys, not with you. It was more so with himself that he was not able to bring this connection back in the right way. But now, because of the High Priestess and the Moon, he's getting the story right, guys. He's getting the story right that you are the person he needs. You are not somebody, or you are somebody that he cannot do without. And you are not somebody that just came into his life. You are somebody who has appeared in his life because there was a specific reason and a power that actually made this connection happen and made this connection work. And this is something that he's now getting the intuition from the moon, sorry, from the cycles of the moon, which could be a matter of the eclipses that is going to happen during the month of July, or during that phase in time, where the moon cycles and the eclipses put together will make him grasp the actual truth of who you are, what you are, and why you are there in this connection with him. Okay, so now he is going to be leaving behind the fact that he had been angry or he had been disappointed because he felt that, this connection, because he was not able to balance himself, he was not able to balance this connection. And that is the reason he had a lot of pain and grief within him. Because he knew that somewhere he was not able to do justice to this connection, and that was making him feel very bitter, very angry, very disappointed, very cruel. He was keeping his heart closed. Mentally, he was being troubled. Mentally, he was being perturbed. So now, with the cycles of the moon that's going to be occurring during this month, during that phase of the time period, he is going to understand through his own intuition the purpose of this journey, the purpose of this twin flame connection, the purpose of this soulmate connection, the purpose of this wheel of fortune is everything is going to come back to him at this point in time. Let's take a clarifier for the moon and the Queen of Swords in the reverse. But earlier on, he definitely had this, it was like, I'm not being able to do justice. I'm not being able to bring my life back together with this person who loves me so much. And yet, I'm feeling very cruel, very bitter, very cold hearted with this connection, because somewhere I feel that I have been disappointed. I'm a disappointment for this connection. I have not done the right journey. So what he's leaving behind is the stall of the situation of the offer, guys. That he had been halting because his heart had been closed to making this offer with you guys. But now this is going to open up because things are turning and things are moving in the right direction. Energies are picking up from the place of stagnation, of being stalled for a very long time. So this is what, the offer that you guys had been waiting from him for a very long time did not happen because of the divine masculine's own self issues. Nothing to do with you guys, but it was his own mental issues that was troubling him, that was killing him, that was stalling the situation because he was not able to fathom the right approach to this connection, guys. Okay, and that was giving him a lot of issues. So, this is what he's leaving behind, the stall to make the offer, the stagnated point of this journey to open up because the moon is coming into the surface, and moon is somebody or some planet that is going to really help him to move forward because the moon's energy has a lot for him in store, guys, during this period. Now, what he is continuing to manifest in this period is putting an end to that conflict between the two of you guys, where he was stressed out, he was burdened with that conflict, with that rivalry, with that competitive spirit in himself, where he wanted to prove that he is probably the master of this relationship, that he could control, he could dictate, he could dominate, he wanted to do things the way he wanted to do, basically. He wanted to move when he wanted to move. He wanted to pick up the phone and call you when he wanted to do that. Or he wanted to come forward to meet you or, chat with you or talk to you, whatever. But he would do that at his own terms. And that is something that was creating a big time conflict in your situation because plus, there were some stuff in your zone, words being said or talked or exchanged, which you did not like, Divine Feminine, and which in turn was making this connection a kind of a place where none of you guys were eager to um, share your love. It was more of a tussle of love, that because if like for example, it could resonate with some people, it might not, but if it resonates, take that, please. For example, if this divine masculine has a karmic relationship or a third party obligation, it could be that he was bringing that story into your connection, guys. Okay, and because he was bringing that story, maybe intentionally, maybe unintentionally, we don't know, but just as an example, I'm saying, or he was trying to prove that his children are better than your kids if you guys both have kids, right? So it was that kind of competitiveness that he wanted to be the best out of the two of you, that he would always put himself before you, and try to show you that he is the master, he has everything, and that you probably have nothing or you have less than him. Okay, and with regards to his karmic connection also, he may have been making you feel small, bringing that karmic partner into your own connection in here, and that was messing up your situation as well, Divine Feminine. These are all examples. It might resonate with you, it might not resonate with you, but this is what I understand from this card in here. And at this point in time, he's letting that go. He's putting an end to that because when he was doing that, when he was creating that fire energy of this competitive spirit in your zone, he was also killing himself. He was also troubling himself. He was also hurting him. Sorry, he was also hurting himself because he was not enjoying that conflict at the end of the day. That superiority, that superior complex of me being the superior in this game, no, it's not about superiority or inferiority. Nobody is superior and inferior in love. This is where he comes from now. He's getting hold of that to release that pain, to release that burden, to understand that this kind of a thing is not what he should have done in this twin flame connection because it's a very, very spiritual connection. He should have had the common sense to have respected this connection in a different way, which at that point in time, he was in a totally different energy and he did not get that story right. So he was mixing up his own superior complex with you guys and trying to prove that it is because of him that you guys are there in this connection, and that you are not really superior to him, that he is the person who is the, the controlled. It's like a control issue he had, okay? A controlled issue, that he could control this situation, or he could control this beautiful journey in the way he desired by doing the wrong things. By doing the wrong things, absolutely wrong stuff, guys, okay? So that is what finally in this month of the time period, he's going to be leaving that behind, because his common sense is coming back to life. Let's take a clarifier for the Five of Wands and the Ten of Swords in the reverse. Please give me a clarifier for these two cards in here, please. Yes, and he was the one who initiated the conflict, guys, and he knows about it. So now he's getting rid of that conflict, because that conflict, he's realized at the end of the day, after a long time, he has realized hasn't brought him any good, hasn't done him any good. So now he is in that portion of his life, guys, to end this conflict, to begin the new cycle, closing the old chapter, of controlled issue, guys, okay, and trying to rest and meditate, because he knows that he has done wrong. So it's giving him trouble. It's giving him, because his own, you don't have to tell him, guys. You really don't have to tell him. He knows about it, okay? And that is the reason he is trying to understand how he can get rid of this energy, this mental conflict that he was having. This was a mental conflict that, unfortunately, he was the one who initiated. It's not you, Divine Feminine. And because he had initiated that, the entire story went for a toss. The entire story went for a complete fiasco, a disaster. So now, in order to close the old chapter, he wants to close the old chapter. He wants to finish this with the Ten of Swords in the reverse. And that is what he's in hope, he's praying, he's in despair, he's trying to rest, to clear his own conscience of the guilt, of the trouble that he has caused you because of his own lack of common sense. Okay, that is how I would like to put it. So he's definitely trying to bring things back together. He's leaving that past conflict behind, because he knows that where the situation had gone wrong and how the situation had gone wrong, he can see that completely. You don't have to tell him, guys. You really don't have to. What is entering his zone is the Six of Pentacles, the give and take now. With the King of Cups, this is entering his zone, guys. It's an equal give and take of this relationship now. It's no more about you taking hold of your superiority and I being inferior to you, or you being inferior and I being superior. There is no superiority and inferiority in this game, in this beautiful connection anymore. It's an equal. We are both at par with one another. If you are capable of giving, I'm capable of giving too. If you are capable of taking and receiving, I'm capable of taking and receiving too. So therefore, it's a complete equal balance of the energies in this beautiful journey which is entering, which is a beautiful connection bond, the first step towards the successful connection of giving and taking. So what it means is that if you are going to give me 2 cups of emotions, I will give you back 2 cups of emotions. If you give me 4 cups of emotions, I'll give you back 4 cups of emotions, okay? So it's an equal give and take relationship that is entering this beautiful connection. Let's take a clarifier for the Six of Pentacles in here, guys. Beautiful. It's called Six of Coins, which is also your resources that you all have built in this connection. Your energy. If you're giving me your energy in the right way, please give me a clarifier for the Six of Coins or the Six of Pentacles in here. Your energy, if you're dedicating, if you're going to take the trouble of, say, calling me up 2 times, 2 times, I'm going to call you back 2 times. I'm going to make the time, I'm going to take the trouble to give you a call back. I'm going to give you back exactly what you are going to give me back. It's an equal give and take relationship now. no superiority, no inferiority, no such things as love being control issue. No, love cannot be dominated and controlled by anybody in life, guys. Okay, and especially this kind of love, no way. And this is where the conflict ends, guys. This is where, like I said, there is no superiority, no inferiority, the Five of Wands in the reverse. And this is where the conflict ends, because it's going to become an equal give and take of this relationship. Nobody is bigger and brighter than one another. You two guys are sitting on the same platform. That is the entire meaning of this journey. It's an entire meaning of this journey, guys, where you two people are coming to meet each other on equal terms and relationships. That is going to manifest. And that is where this situation of conflict, of this power game, is going to end from hence onward, guys. Okay? Now, his grounding energy is the Nine of Wand in the reverse, which is, of course, telling me that this person is tired. He's been fighting a losing battle with some other situation in his life towards this connection, to make this connection better. He had definitely been putting up a lot of fight within himself, because he definitely wanted to manifest. Because when he started to lose, because my understanding is that he had started to lose this connection. He knew that he's losing this connection at a certain point in the recent past. And that is the reason he had been mentally fatigued now. He's tired because he was fighting to keep that connection. Because when it's like ebb and flow, guys, when you stepped back, he realized how important you were in his life. But till the time you were there with him, he was fighting this stupid battle. I would say it's a stupid battle, okay? But since the time you took that step back, you went back, he realized that he didn't have the common sense to see through this connection. That this connection is such an important connection for him, more so than you. Of course, it's for you too, guys. But for him, it's the most important. It's his lifeline. Okay, it's his lifeline. So therefore, when this happened and you took that step back, he went through hell. He definitely went through hell, because he didn't know where to start and where to end situations. He was therefore, and he's still continuing that same energy in his ground level, because he's fatigued. He was questioning his own motivations as to why he did what he did. He's trying to find the answers of his own stupidity. Okay, so therefore, at this point in time, in the grounding energy, he is trying to understand what drove him to do what he did. What was the motivation? What was the purpose of him trying to throw that control issue at you, or trying to prove that he is in a much better position than you guys are? Okay, so therefore, this is where the tiredness is still continuing. He's exhausted, he's a little bit more fatigued than he should have been, because he has been fighting this battle for quite some time in his own space, guys. Okay, so because there was another reason, because this guy, this divine masculine, in the grounding energy, they were not ready to make a long-term commitment. Okay, and they were afraid that if they do, they may not be able to come out of that commitment. So that is where this grounding energy is questioning his own motivations. So therefore, they were being mistrustful of this connection, and hence they had created a boundary between themselves and you, divine feminine, which is turning out to be their own personal prison now, because they have done these wrong things. So now they are imprisoned in their own area, to understand that you shouldn't. Why did I do what I did? I have imprisoned myself in my own thought, because the other person just wants me to be really good with her, wants me to be with her, wants everything. We both have everything. We can give and take. So why was there fight? Why was this fight there? I had created this fight. I had done it. I had imprisoned my own self existence because of my own understanding of this love journey, guys. Okay. So that could have been because he felt. Now, I'm not justifying his actions, guys, but I'm just trying to say that it could have been because he might have felt that he doesn't have enough resources to share with you, and that if he invites you into his own kingdom of love, he might have to give you the resources too. So that was creating that imprisonment, that was creating the trouble to face the challenges, and therefore this man was running away or trying to avoid that. And now all these things are coming back to him, where he is questioning his own motivations of this stupid act that he had put up in there. Okay, so let's take a clarifier for the Nine of Wands in the reverse to see what my spirit needs to tell me. Yeah, so he was doing everything because of his own understanding, and it was a prison nobody had set him into. He had made the prison. He had walked inside. He had closed the doors. He had barred himself because he was scared. He was scared of this beautiful relationship. And it was because, look, it was because of this third party situation. It was because of this third party or karmic situation that he is now putting an end to and getting rid of that energy of being an imprisonment with this relationship or the karmic, or clearing his karma at this point in time in the grounding energy, guys. So it was that story that karmic, his karma was the karmic, the third party obligation. And he is now recognizing that he had been stupid enough to deal with that karmic situation, giving priority to it, and yet not understanding where his priorities were lying with you guys. Okay, so this is a grounding energy. Let me get another clarifier for the Three of Cups in the reverse in here. Yeah, and see, Temperance in the reverse. And that is where he recognizes the fact that because of this karmic third party situation, he had not been able to balance this relationship of the twin flame, guys. And in return, he did not balance himself too. Everything was topsy turvy because his focus, his attention, his ideas, his understanding, his wisdom, everything was distorted, completely distorted. And the universe had completely distorted that so that he could wake up to the reality of his own existence once again, to know where he had gone wrong and what are the things that he had done wrong, guys. Okay, so this is where the grounding energy is coming in from at this point in time. And it's a beautiful energy of him coming to life, of him understanding his own follies that he had created because of his own stupid self ideas, his own stupid self ideas that he had locked himself into, had imprisoned himself into, had kept him tied to this, because he was like, no, 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 it's like, okay, let's put it like this, guys. Okay, like he was kind of telling himself that if I walk out of this karmic situation, or if I don't pay attention to this karmic situation or third party obligation, I would be doing something miserably wrong. I will not be able to face my own conscious self. And so he kept telling himself, and so he kept telling himself, and so he kept telling himself, until the point that he realized today, or he's going to realize, that I was being a plain stupid person with no common sense. And because I did that one way kind of a situation, I walked into that, I forgot to balance the other part of the situation. And I forgot to balance who is important to me now and what I need from this connection. So, in order for that, he has understood in the grounding energy that he needs to come back and rebalance the entire self, rebalance his own energies to put an end to the situation that has been halting his progress towards this twin flame connection, to understand his divine feminine better, to know who she is as a person and what he needs to do for her now. Now his challenge is the Queen of Cups in the reverse, guys, okay, which is His challenge is to end the situation, to end this karmic situation or his karma of the insecurity, of the dependency, of being the martyr that he has been doing, just working for this without any rewards. And that is a challenge in his zone at this point in time because he wants to clear that energy. He wants to finish off that dependency. He wants to completely reverse this energy. He wants to get out of that insecurity, the dependency of being the martyr all the time. Okay? Sorry. And also to come back to life with his emotions, guys, to be in sync with his emotions. Because, again, it could be a challenge for him that he feels restricted in expressing the things that he truly feels. He truly feels he is not being able to express that to you. So if he is like talking to you guys, for example, and he's not, you want him to hear, you want to hear what you want to hear, but he's not being clearly being able to tell you that. Don't get him wrong. It's just, this is the time, this challenge, because now what is happening is he has bottled up his own emotions, and that can be damaging. And and this will lead him to a boiling point in the future until he is able to clear that emotions. So it could be that he is going through high level of stress, and he's not being able to cope with it anymore, and he's coming to the point of this completely bursting, becoming volatile and erupting, guys. Okay? And it also could mean that his challenge is that now he's coming into this journey in such a way that his mind is wandering. It's difficult for him to push his mind back to a point. His imagination is getting the better of him. But now it's a time for him to pause, to look into the reality of this relationship, to take his patience, to pause and see how he can bring his emotions or emotional self under control, guys. Okay? So now it is the time for him where he has to know that emotions can be trusted and that you are allowing them to control you. You have to be controlled with your emotions. Therefore, sometime you need to think of these dreams that can actually be turned into reality. But these areas are still in the challenge zone for him. So he's going to go through this challenge area in this period, and you have to grant him that. Let's take a clarifier for the Queen of Cups in the reverse in here, please. So yeah, so it's basically, he's now completely focused on his emotions, guys. He's focused on his emotions because he definitely has realized that it was his emotions that has been causing him so much of pain. And not only was his lack of emotion, but in the way that he has applied his emotions to the wrong place, where it has completely drained him of his emotions and of his well-being too, guys. Please give me a clarifier for the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So there he go. So his challenge is to leave all that and to walk away to find his ninth cup that's waiting for him with the Wheel of Fortune, to find his ninth cup of happiness that he isn't going to go in search of, leaving this challenge zone behind, to not take this challenge in the wrong way, but to take this challenge in the right way, to find his emotional fulfillment with you guys in this period in time from 15th to the 30th of July 2019, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful energies, all about emotions, guys, because he's realized now that his emotions were completely drained. It was not his fault completely, guys, don't get that wrong. But again, fault or no fault, he was the person who had initiated this issue. So we have to kind of tell him that he was the mastermind of this. He had let other people, he had let the third party, the karmic situation get the better of him to drain him, the toxicity, the negativity, because this person, the karmic situation could have been a narcissist, okay? and a needy person who cried wolf all the time. So he was running after that cry wolf kind of a game plan. And in the middle, he forgot where his other stories are, or which is where his focal point should have been to start off with. Now, where does he find his support? In the lovers and reavers, he will find his support when he brings back this beautiful love journey back together by piecing the jigsaw puzzles back into place, guys. Okay, so that is where he will find his support, and all this is happening because he is realizing that for him, it's this twin flame connection, it's this divine feminine, it's this beautiful connection that is actually the core, basic, essential point of his existence in this world, guys. Okay, let's take a clarifier for the lovers and the reavers, because that's where the love ones, because now he's struggling to bring his own love back. He's not only struggling to bring you guys back into his zone, but he's also trying to respect himself, to love himself, because he knows that once he's able to bring back the emotions in the right way, too many cards, he will be able to bring back the right connection. And just that little gap, which can be, it's like a switch that needs to be just put on so that this entire connection is once again ignited in the right direction. So that is where he is moving towards by the end of the month, to know what he wants for himself, to love himself, to take care of himself, which in turn is going to bring back his emotions with you and in this twin flame connection, guys. So it's a beautiful place to find his support by clearing away his illusions now, and clearing away the chaos, the brutality of this loss of emotions, by taking a mental approach to the situation to bring his love back, by clearing all the cloudy areas, by clearing away and getting away from the chaos, the brutality that his life had to offer, where he could not even understand this specific reason for this journey at a point, and everything got completely out of control. So that's the only place, it's a mental energy with the sword in here, but with the mental energy, he will have to use the high priestess, who is going to show him the direction with regards to this connection, who is going to guide him and let him know that he has a lot of spiritual knowledge, divine knowledge, that with his own divine knowledge, he can help to revive this connection. He can help to get away from the chaos, illusions, brutality, all the disorder, malfunctions, everything that had happened in his zone, to move out of this karmic third party obligation, to clear himself, to clear his mental space, to take this love into the right direction, guys. Now, my spirit's advice to him is the Emperor in the reverse, guys, which is telling me that he has to also bring back order in his life. He doesn't have the order because of all this topsy-turvy situation. His own order, his own self-order, his own order of the regime that he has created or had once, maybe, he needs to bring that back into himself. Justice has to come back into his own zone, where he can control the reins of his own love situation, of his own experience, of his own existence, with the understanding that what he wants to manifest as an emperor, he will be able to manifest with his discipline, with his truth, with his understanding, with his wisdom, where he can hold the reins of his kingdom to say, yes, I am the emperor and I can do things in the right way to help this connection, to help my divine feminine, to be with her, to be in this connection in the rightful way, and for which I need to bring back order first in my own life, guys. Okay, let's take a clarifier for the Emperor card in the reverse in here. So he's getting things very straightforward, clear-cut message from the universe, guys. Very clear-cut message. He doesn't want to dilly-dally on this situation anymore because he has learned his lessons. If you have seen my video on the twin flame connection, on the twin flame, and I have said, the slogan I have put is lessons learned. and in this too, to bring back order in the right way, not by the wishy washy kind, to escape from situations, yes, to hold himself, yes, to do things for himself, yes, but in the honest, most open way, not hiding things from anyone anymore. So tomorrow, if he says, for example, that he wants to spend some quality time with his divine feminine, he should have that strength and that order in him to pursue what he wants in life without hiding anything from anyone, to be open and frank about his life, to be open and frank about his own will and desires that he now wants to manifest in this beautiful connection, but doing it very openly, not keeping secrets and hiding. But he can do this. He can definitely do this, guys, once he gets his strength back as an emperor in himself, and that will happen. Now, the outcome is these two cards in here, beautiful cards, Temperance and the Eight of Wands, guys. So by the end of July, he will be able to balance the situation and balance enough for him to move forward, talk, and act with regards to this relationship, guys. So by the end of July, he is coming to a point of balancing this entire self area. It's more work for him than working for you or working. Yes, he's working for this connection, but he's working for this connection by working for himself, if that makes sense. Okay, so he's working for himself, which in turn it's like chain reaction, guys. He's working for himself, and because he's working for himself, he is also at the same time working for this connection, which in turn by the end of the month is bringing back his control, his balance, his self-discipline, his self-will, everything back enough for him to understand that it is now time for him to talk, to move, to act in the right direction, in the Eight of Wands energy. The outcome is beautiful because until he balances himself, he will not be able to open up with you guys to tell you enough of what he thinks that he is going to do, of what he's planning to manifest in this connection, of how his wheel of fortune is turning, of how situations are changing for him. So he's coming to that point slowly. He's walking into that area of his life to understand this, and by the end of the month, towards the beginning of August, that is where he is reaching, guys. Let's take a clarifier for the Temperance card and the Eight of Wands. Beautiful energy, guys. Beautiful. The divine wisdom is coming to light, is kicking back to life, guys. Is kicking back. This group of divine masculine connected with this earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, is definitely in a big time fight with their own energies to cure and complete the cycle of love, going forward, because they have realized their own conscious self has told them the mistakes they have made. Because previously it could have been that, guys, they had been blaming you or they had been trying to blame somebody else, but now they are taking the blame on their shoulders, on their own self, because they have realized that nobody is to be blamed in this connection for the folly, for the mistakes, but themselves, guys. Okay, so this is what the story is, but it's ending in a beautiful way where he is going to be able to move forward in the right direction in order to bring back peace, harmony, love, and everything in the right way. Now look at these cards. Death in the reverse, Knight of Swords, Hanged Man, and then you have the Five of Pentacles in here, guys. So it is what it is, okay? So he is rushing towards, okay, let's take these two cards in here first because messages come out together. So I always like to deal with 2 or 3 cards before I see the rest of it. So over here, it's clearly telling me that he's rushing towards ending situations without emotions anymore. He's rushing forward to clear his path, to finish everything that had been halting his progress in this love relationship. halting his progress towards the movement with you, Divine Feminine, halting the movement towards his soulmate, towards his own wheel of fortune, to reconnect with his own wheel of fortune. He doesn't have emotions anymore with regards to putting an end to situations where he feels that he needs to end stuff in order to move forward. At the same time, with patience, guys, with patience with his own inner self growing, understanding his spiritual wisdom, because this hanged man is a very spiritual person who takes his own sweet time to get his own spiritual wisdom in place. With that own spiritual wisdom, with his own understanding, he is now coming down. It's in reverse. He is coming down and he has realized that he cannot be stalling this situation anymore, of putting an end to situations where things are not there for him, where he knows he is wasting his time, he's wasting his money, is wasting his energy. He had been doing the wrong things, and now he is going to go forward to be with you together, with the Five of Pentacles coming out of that grief, that misery of being alone, of being lonely, of being stuck in a situation where both you guys were feeling completely miserable. So this is where he is going forward to. He's rushing forward to take control of his life. He's rushing forward and very, very, very fast, okay? Very impulsive action. He's not doing that after a lot of planning and thinking. But it's like one sudden day, one fine day, one morning he just wakes up and tells himself, good morning, I have to go, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, and there he goes, there he rushes. He's doing everything to bring back order, to cut out the truth, to bring the truth, to cut out the brutality, to bring back his love, to end this war, to do this give and take, to finish this disabled, disbalanced karmic situation, to finish his own dependency on his own emotions that was not there, to bring back his own emotions, to close the old chapters of his life, putting an end to all the negativity out here, to whatever I have told you, with regards to bringing back his own self wisdom, his own spiritual, and where he has realized that he cannot halt this connection anymore, and it's time for him to move forward with being generous, being very practically generous with regards to this love situation, guys. Please feel free to write your comments if you want to say something. Until then, goodbye, God bless, Khuda Hafiz, and see you soon once again.